Hi XPers to another episode of Max Level Video Games, where me and Shane show you the ins, the outs, and all the bouts of owning your own retro video game store. We've been busy already. It's always busy. If it's not busy, then I'm not doing my job. We are going to be back here knocking this stuff out. I've been neglecting back here quite a bit, so now we need to get through here. I'm working on this beautiful Starlight Gold GameCube, Japanese exclusive. We have to take it apart and mod it. So I have to take all the screws out and get to the main motherboard. The laser off with all the screws. Now we need to take these 6 screws off to get to the main board. The main board got the screws out. The next thing we need to do is we need to get the heat sink off, because where we need to be is underneath it. To do this is just twist it back and forth a little by little, lifting up on it, trying not to dislodge the thermal pads too bad. Hopefully it comes off fairly easy and nice, where you just set it to the side. And now the fun part begins. And the next step we're going to do is come right into here with fuse this resistor R5 and R6, and what we're going to do is move the resistor from R6, which it's at right now, or sorry, R5, which is what it's at right now, right here, to R6. We're going to do that really quick. So we're waiting for that to heat up. We're going to clean the underside of it. You can see a little dust underneath there. Then we just take a brush, clean the unders, and make sure it's nice and clean. Get my hot, heat gun going, put a little heat to it, dislodge it, move it over. We just moved the chip, or we just moved that resistor over. This is now an English version. We're going to clean up our solder paste that we have, or not solder paste, but flux really quick. Clean the board, might as well. Put it back together and do the next step after you mod these for US versions. The time we have to adjust the laser after changing this over for power voltage based on the US models. So we need to take this plate off right here and start adjusting the laser. So here we go. Let's just double check to make sure I did this right. It should boot up. And this should be in English. There we go. Now, let me show you the laser. I don't have the controller plugged in, or the controller ports plugged in. I'm just going to double check. So you notice it's not quite acting quite right. So we do need to adjust the laser. How do we do that? Well, we already took it apart. So we need to come on the bottom and adjust this potentiometer. I'm going to come in here with a little tiny screw, flathead, and just turn it counterclockwise a bit and see what it does. Line it up, turn it on. There, it'll boot, but it's not quite right. I could tell because I've done this so many times. But what I'm gonna do is just turn it clockwise just a little bit. Let's see what it does now. On, power. Almost there, not quite. There's a very specific noise the GameCube makes when you get the laser just right. Come over here. We're gonna go clockwise a little. Let's try it again. There it is. That's the noise I want to hear. There we go. So I'll put it all back together and then we'll just double check to make sure everything's working. Depends on which model. If you notice there's an extra fuse R39, that's because this orange model has analog video out, so it has an extra resistor on here. Luckily, It's the same concept. We're just gonna move R5 to R6. An online sale. Trevor, thank you for your support. What did Trevor pick up? Well, let's ask God Rob. Rob, what did Trevor pick up? This beautiful black SP. We will get this shipped out right now. And we just sold an item. It's officially gone. It's sad to see it go, but I'm happy that it went to a great home. Our Pikachu N64 is officially bye-bye. Picked up Jordan, and I hit someone up about a N64 lot, so we're about to go pick it up. I'm picking up this N64 right here. Got Mario Kart 007. This is World Is Not Enough. 2 controllers and the system itself. The system in this game was working. This one, not so much. Probably just needs to be cleaned. I'll test it in a bit. And then we just got this in a trade. We got all 3 Donkey Kong countries. 1, 2, 3. Super Mario World, Star Wars, some NES, Knight Rider. Got some more N64, Perfect Dark, Donkey Kong, Gemini. Great titles. And we got a Super Famicom game. Machine testing all these N64 games. Console works, controller's fine. We need to just double check to make sure everything works. Probably won't get it in stock right now. More GameCubes that need to be modded. We got 2 more back here. And good, we have a standard black, orange. I'll get the silver. I need a silver controller. We don't have to bundle it. I like to bundle them with them. But we might have all the consoles. We do have that silver one over here, but it needs a controller. It didn't come with one. This box almost complete one. So we'll need a silver controller. Closest silver one is this nasty looking one. And to be honest, it doesn't look good. Silver one, we have a controller for the black and indigo. So these need to be modded, and then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consoles in back stock once these get modded. We're going to switch focus. I kind of want to take this guy apart and take a look and see what's going on with that power jack. It's a little loose. And then I may want to work on something else. Working. I just have it plugged in here because my TV, I don't know if it even has a USB in the back of it. It does. I don't know. There it goes. Yeah, it might not be enough power. I don't know how much power these things actually need. Yeah, it's not enough power. Go to Goodwill or something and get a power brick and a power unit. I'm just checking to see what kind of voltage it takes, but it doesn't say. And it doesn't say right there either. Found a power brick. We'll just use this one. This one's a 100 to 240 volts. So that will go in there. 2 controllers. HDMI cable. It has everything it needs. So instead of listing every single game, taking pictures, not pictures, disc onlys, we're gonna add variants. What does that mean? There's gonna be different prices and drop-down menus right next to the item in general. So for example, I got this Deadpool Xbox 360. It has its generic description. It has its generic complete pictures, whatever pictures I have, or just, generic pictures. But then there's something called variants. So we can have a condition variant, and inside there, essentially online, allows us to have a general listing for the game. So if we come in here, we paste Deadpool 360, see if it's in stock. Oh, there it is. And then it has different conditions. So complete, no manual, the prices change, and then disc only if there is one available. Now, this listing will disappear if it doesn't have any available, but at least now we can have a general drop-down menu, and prices will adjust accordingly for the item. That's actually gonna help us quite a bit, so I don't have to do as many listings, and if one's complete, I'll just do the complete pictures and then have the drop-down menu. Pictures may or may not be attached to the item, but at least there's gonna be a drop-down menu. You can pick condition, and prices should vary depending. Also, to make it easy on ourselves, variants like greatest hits, they're all the same UPC code. So essentially, there's gonna be no variants. It's gonna be one listing, it's gonna be the game itself, the UPCs are the same. There's no way to distinguish because of that between greatest hits and not greatest hits. So we will no longer be adding new SKUs, adjusting SKUs based on the greatest hits. It's just based on the UPC.
then we'll go from there. I know as collectors, it's a little disheartening and everything else, but it's just gonna be easier on the storefront to do that instead of having like 6 different variants of greatest hits, not greatest hits, and everything else. It's just gonna be easier just to have one listing, complete, non-complete. Unfortunately, that's a decision I've made to help us move forward. If you are looking for something in particular or very specific, especially a different variant of different games, you can always message us. We can always say if we have a black label or non-black label item in stock. The messaging goes directly to us here in the store. We can definitely answer those questions. Definitely great to see small changes here and there, making everything just a little bit easier and faster. We got through a lot of stuff today. A lot of PlayStation, Xbox 360, some great titles.
Say Jordan to the X-Peers. Tell you guys thank you, every one of you, for watching Max Level Video Games. And remember, the days might be hard, they might be difficult, they might be long. But as long as you gain a little bit of experience, you will eventually level up.